We're in the month of December, and all the major shows releasing this year have already been released. So, out of them, time to judge what's the best out there. Today I'll be speaking of the fantasy niche, so here are 15 shows that go beyond just knights in shining armor and magic cast from wands. Ready? My advice, use every protection spell in your arsenal, because while some of these may be cute, the others can be grim and bloody. Number 15, Journey of Elaina. Starting off our list is the Journey of Elaina. If you want to follow the adventures of a cute white-haired witch, then add this one to the watch list without further wait. The premise of this show is really simple. There's a witch named Elaina who had a long ambition to travel around the world, and in this anime series, she finally does that. The story is straightforward, and unlike most fantasy anime, it doesn't involve wars and tragic character deaths in its premise, but the story can be really interesting because of its pacing. The world around Elaina is shown through the story as she gets involved with different characters and their struggles, and as you move along in the anime, you can see how Elaina develops as a character from all the adventures. Number 14, Dorohedoro. Fantasy and monsters don't seem to be a new take on the anime medium, but Dorohedoro is an anime that doesn't fail in delivering mystery, suspense, as well as some great grimdark world building. Dorohedoro tells the story of a man named Kane who is trying to find the sorcerer who erased his memory and turned his head into a lizard. In this world, humans and sorcerers are different species, and the former live in a hole, while the latter lives in the world above and constantly threatens humans. If it isn't obvious by now, the anime has a lot of gore and violence, but also has a mystery running in its background parallel to the plot. As Kane finds out who he is, he also unveils mysteries that could change the human and sorcerer worlds forever, and that's when you start to realize the potential of this anime. Number 13, Brand New Animal. Taking inspiration from Beastars itself, Brand New Animal is a Netflix show that has talking animals in a sci-fi setting. But wait, the premise goes beyond that. Just like Dorohedoro, this passes on some interesting world building, where humanoid animals inhabit the earth and take refuge in Anima City, a city completely dedicated to animals. The story follows a girl named Michiru who turns into one of these beastmen and moves into Anima City. She meets a wolf named Shiru, and together the two of them investigate the cause of her turning into a beastman and try to get back her human form. If you need another anime to binge on after Dorohedoro, then this is the one for you. Number 12, Appare Ranman. A good thing about fantasy anime this year is that it constantly kept evolving. Instead of swords, knights, and monsters, we got some shows with unique premises that gripped our attention. Appare Ranman follows Appare Sorano, the son of a wealthy merchant, as he travels to Los Angeles for some adventure. He is followed by the samurai Kusame Ishiki, and together the two of them enter the Trans-America Wild Race. Sorano gets to test his mechanic skills, and Kusame gets to collect enough money to go home. This anime is completely unique compared to many anime being released nowadays, and if this has passed under your radar, then now's the time to watch it. Number 11, Fog Hill of 5 Elements. Now here's another underrated gem of the year. From the looks of it, you might think that this is an anime done by Studio Ufotable, but in truth, this is a Chinese anime that deserves your attention. This happens in a world where monsters could give the ability to certain elected officials to master the 5 elements. But there is a catch. To do this, they need to pass the Fog Hills, a hill that has dangerous threats lurking within it. In this anime, we follow the adventures of one of these elected officials as he crosses the Fog Mountain. As you see from the visuals, this anime has some astounding action scenes plus some great animation that truly showcases the potential of Chinese animation. Without a doubt, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. Number 10, Deca Dence. Here comes the Attack on Titan clone of this year, but honestly, that's really not true. Deca Dence is more than just another Attack on Titan clone. This happens in an apocalyptic world where life forms of Gadol threaten humanity. Soon, cyborgs are developed to do human biddings, but these cyborgs overtake the humans and build their own fortress known as Deca Dence. The anime follows the story of a girl named Natsume as she wants to become a skilled gear user after her father's death. The anime has got some great action, some great world building, and is definitely one of those unique shows to come out this season. Number 9. Ascendance of a Bookworm. For those who are tired of sword-fighting overpowered heroes in fantasy anime, we've got Ascendance of a Bookworm. Based on the light novel of the same name, this tells the story of a girl named Mutosu Urano, a girl who loved books in her previous life. But when an earthquake hits Japan and causes her death, she begs to be born in a world where she can read books. But in this world, books aren't available for everyone. Books are scarce and can only be read by the elite. So Mutosu, now stuck in the body of a 5-year-old girl named Mine, decides to print books so that she can read once again. This is a fine blend of fantasy and magic without the usual cliché tropes. Number 8. My Life as a Villainess. We always follow the hero of the story, but it doesn't hurt to follow the villain as well. Or at least a girl who was accidentally born as the villain. My Life as a Villainess tells the story of Katarina Clays, an otaku who finds herself reborn as the villain of the story. Now, instead of becoming the villain of the story, she tries to avoid her fate by developing good relations with everyone in the game. It is one of the most innovative premises in recent anime, and it doesn't fail to deliver a fantasy anime with a lot of comedy and twists. The main goal of Katarina is to avoid any route that leads to her doom and avoid things going the same way like other games. And her trying to achieve this goal is the core thing, which makes this anime stand out from its competitors. Number 7. Sword Art Online Alicization. War of the Underworld Part 2. Well, we all know about Sword Art Online, the anime that combines isekai and fantasy RPG game elements with an overpowered protagonist. But that's just the first season of it. The anime Alicization covers the 4th arc of the light novel, and this time, Kirito is trapped in a VR where he spends his days with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Alice. But when Alice touches the darkness of the Dark Territory, she is taken by the guards to be executed, and it is up to Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh! To save their friend. This season of the anime is somewhat different from the regular Sword Art Online formula and focuses on character growth instead of fast-paced action and world building. The story even gave some moments for the minor characters to shine, and without a doubt, this is the best season of Sword Art Online. Number 6. ReZero Season 2. Let's suffer together, gentlemen. Well, honestly, the second season of ReZero was a vast improvement from the first and stands unique in terms of storytelling. Subaru's character was given the development he deserves, and the lore was expanded enough for fans to make cults around who the best girl is. This season focused on the workings of Echidna, and a mysterious new villain revealed himself. The torture Subaru had to go through was way worse than the first season, and of course, Rem being dead, half of the fanbase was depressed. Without a doubt, I would like to call this the second best sequel season of 2020 because we have the first one ready at number 1. Number 5. Tower of God. Leave it for the Tower of God to make the perfect web novel impact of this year. It opened in the early summer, becoming one of the most popular webtoon adaptations and finally showing that Crunchyroll can do something right. This anime showed the adventures of Bam as he chases after a girl named Rachel. The world building of this anime, such as the tower, plus the various tests the characters had to face, was perfectly done. And it is no wonder that this turned out to be one of the best webtoon adaptations ever to exist. If you are interested in the show, then you can jump right into Season 1 and then read the webtoon. Number 4, Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul. Made in Abyss tells the story of a girl named Riko who is motivated to find her mother. The story happens in a world where a large underground hole known as the Abyss has formed near the village. People known as the Cave Riders descend this to search for minerals, and Riko's mother was one of them. When her mother disappears, she becomes determined to travel underground with a robotic boy named Reg to find her mother. Made in Abyss, Dawn of the Deep Soul happens a little later as Riko, Reg, and their new friend Nanachi arrive at the 5th layer and meet a dangerous figure of Nanachi's past, Bondru the novel. This anime mixes in fantasy and mystery elements really well and is one of the best fantasy series out there. Number 3, Jujutsu Kaisen. Each year comes with its surprises, and in this year, that big surprise is Jujutsu Kaisen. Not only did the show give us some perfect mystery to dwell on, but Studio Mappa showed us once again that they can craft a perfect anime out of any manga out there. Jujutsu Kaisen follows Yuji Itadori, who meets a sorcerer named Megumi Fushiguro, who warns about a cursed talisman he possesses. But this talisman seems to be a bigger challenge than it seemed, and to protect his friends, Yuji swallows it. So now, a demon is residing within him. Yuji becomes the target of many exorcists with his life hanging on the line. Each episode of the anime pulls out twists that you will never see coming, and if you haven't seen it yet, then now's the time to do it. Number 2, Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, Spring Song. There is only one Studio Ufotable show on this list, but it's one that is done right. The Spring Song movie may be a visual slugfest that has enough budget to build an entire Japan alone, and with this movie, the Fate storyline comes to an epic conclusion. The movie follows Shiru, Rin, Ilya, and writers' efforts to bring back a corrupted Sakura. If you've watched the trailers, you know how gorgeous the visuals of this movie are. As usual, Ufotable does a perfect job combining modern CGI with traditional animation to deliver a 2-hour movie that will blow your mind. If you didn't watch it in theaters, the Blu-ray is coming next March, so stay tuned. Number 1, Attack on Titan Season 4. This just got released a few days before this video, and from the very first episode itself, I can tell that this anime is going to turn the internet upside down. Now we focus on the other side of the wall, where Marley is focusing on conquering the Middle Eastern forces. We saw several new faces, but there is still no sign of Eren or his usual crew. But if you are a manga reader, you definitely know what's coming up. Studio Mappa seems to be doing a great job mixing the CGI with the animation, and the pacing seems to do justice to the manga as well. This storyline will follow the final effort of the Survey Corps to fight the real enemy, and if you still haven't caught up on Season 4, let me tell you that there's a lot waiting for you. So, did you catch some new fantasy anime to watch, or did you revisit all those great anime you watched this year? Let me know down below in the comments section, and as usual, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell notification icon so you can be instantly updated as soon as we release a new video. Stay safe, anime fans, and I'll see you guys in the next video.